programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Das liegt sicher daran, dass seine Musik ganz besonders schön und ganz besonders kunstvoll gewesen ist und seine Zeitgenossen auch überstrahlt hat.
Johann Sebastian Bach, a magnificent musician's creative genius, part 2 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Fáilte. That's how the warm-hearted Irish people would say welcome in Gaelic if you visit beautiful Ireland. I am Ian. The faithful people of Ireland thank you for exemplifying love through your vegan lifestyle. Welcome to part 2 of a 2-part series entitled Johann Sebastian Bach, a magnificent musician's creative genius.
Ich spiele die Noten so, wie sie geschrieben sind, aber es ist Gott, der die Musik macht. Johann Sebastian Bach.
A German composer, harpsichordist, organist and violinist of the Baroque period, as well as an expert on organ building, Johann Sebastian Bach was born in Eisenach, Germany, on March 21, 1685. Generally regarded as one of the most prolific and greatest composers of all time, he is known for the Brandenburg concertos and the Goldberg variations, as well as the Mass in B minor. Bach explored every major style and musical genre of his time. He also developed these styles and blended them together in new ways, combining the emotional with the intellectual. Our guest, Professor Dr. Ulrich Böhme, is a German organist. His passion for the King of Instruments was awakened by the majestic Baroque organ in his hometown Rottenkirchen, where he began as an organist at the early age of 13. In 1985, Professor Dr. Böhme was chosen to become the organist at the renowned St. Thomas Church in Leipzig, where Johann Sebastian Bach spent his last 27 years. Professor Dr. Böhme regularly plays at concert tours around the world and has traveled to many European countries, North America, and Japan. In 1994, he was appointed honorary professor at the Church Music Institute of the Leipzig University of Music and Theatre. Today, we continue our interview with Professor Dr. Ulrich Böhme as he shares his thoughts on music and spiritual life.
Ich habe mich ja entschieden, ein Organist zu werden, als ich noch jung war, sogar als ich noch ein Kind war. Dass ich jetzt an einer Kirche angestellt bin und sozusagen für die evangelische Kirche Musik mache an der Orgel, das ist kein Zufall. Das ist mein großes inneres Bedürfnis, mein Spirit. Ich hätte ja auch in eine Konzerthalle gehen können oder ich hätte auch ein freischaffender Organist werden können. Aber die Musik in den Konzerten und Gottesdiensten in den evangelischen Kirchen, das ist das, was ich am meisten möchte. Und ich denke, auf diese Weise kann ich auch die Menschen, die zuhören, die in die Gottesdienste und die in die Konzerte kommen, am meisten ansprechen und erreichen.
Similarly, Bach's devotion to God also led him to compose many beautiful and touching pieces of music.
Bevor er nach Leipzig kam und Thomaskantor wurde, war er ja an einem Hofe, an einem Fürstenhof angestellt als Musiker bei Fürst Leopold in Köthen. Was ihn bewogen hat, dass er dann Thomaskantor und aus unserer Sicht heute vielleicht der wichtigste evangelische Kirchenmusiker überhaupt geworden ist, das weiß nur er selbst, das können wir nicht sagen. Aber er war zutiefst ein gläubiger, lutherischer Christ und hat im Auftrag Gottes seine Kirchenmusik komponiert, aber er hat eigentlich auch schon in der Zeit vor Leipzig Kirchenmusik geschrieben und mit derselben inneren Hingabe. Es war für ihn sicher das Wichtigste, zum Lobe Gottes zu musizieren.
In 1717, Johann Sebastian Bach was offered a job as Kapellmeister, or director of music in the town of Köthen. He was mainly involved with chamber and orchestral music. He worked for Prince Leopold of Anhalt-Köthen, who was very musical and a wonderful man. The prince respected Johann Sebastian Bach for giving him freedom in composing and performing. He also paid him well. While Bach was working for Prince Leopold at the Karlsbad Spa, his wife Maria passed away suddenly. He did not receive the news until 2 months later. Anna Magdalena Wilken, daughter of a trumpeter, became Johann Sebastian Bach's second wife in December 1721. They shared a common interest in music, as she was a professional singer. Together they had 13 children of their own. Altogether, Johann Sebastian Bach had 20 children, 9 of whom passed away at a young age. Bach composed the Baroque masterworks, Brandenburg concertos, in 1721 as orchestral compositions, which was presented as an application to work with Christian Ludwig Margrave of Brandenburg-Schwedt. Johann Bach composed extensive masterpieces, sonatas, concertos, cantatas and suites, as well as keyboard, choral and organ works. We'll take a few moments to thank the beautiful birds for their melodious music. We'll be right back here on Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to Johann Sebastian Bach, a magnificent musician's creative genius, part 2 of 2. In 1723, Johann Sebastian Bach became director of music for the city of Leipzig, where he had to supply performances for 4 churches. On May 30th, 1723, Johann Sebastian officially performed Cantata No. 75, Die Elden sollen essen, or The Miserable Shall Eat, for the first time. A total of 62 cantatas were produced during this year, including Magnificat and St. John Passion. During the first couple of years at Leipzig, Johann Sebastian Bach produced approximately 1 cantata a week. This intensive work provided sufficient supply of church music for future Sunday and feast day services, so that he could turn his attention to other projects. Bach was honorary musical director to Weissenfels in Germany from around 1729 to 1737. He also directed the Leipzig Collegium Musicum around this time. Johann Sebastian Bach became one of the first composers of concerti for keyboard instruments and orchestra. Russian envoy Hermann Karl commissioned the Goldberg variations, which were published as Part 4 of the Klavier Unbung in 1741. Johann Sebastian Bach had 2 unsuccessful eye operations. He was unable to finish the Art of the Fugue due to prolonged illness and passed away on July 28, 1750. His present grave is in St. Thomas Church. After his passing, Johann Sebastian Bach's music fell into obscurity until its revival in the 19th century. Johann Niklaus Forkel, a German writer, published a study of Bach's life and art in 1802. A selection of keyboard music was made available, and very few vocal works were published. German composer Felix Mendelssohn revived Johann Sebastian's St. Matthew Passion with a centenary performance. It was published in 1830 together with St. John Passion, followed by Mass in B minor. Today, Johann Sebastian Bach's music speaks to the hearts of countless listeners. His music is somehow consoling, particularly his cantatas. Acclaimed soprano Nancy Argenta said, "Bach can be very reassuring. When you're feeling frazzled, you need Bach, not Beethoven, to relax you. He has a calmness that makes people feel that all is well with the world and that they'll be all right." Helmut Reiling, an accomplished choral conductor and teacher, stated Bach was the best. He's the teacher par excellence. His music has influenced every later generation of composers and musicians, a heritage that continues right up to our time. In 2019, BBC Music magazine asked 174 of the current best-known composers to name 5 composers they rate as the greatest ever in terms of originality, craftsmanship, impact, and sheer enjoyment. Johann Sebastian Bach came up top of the list. In second place was Igor Stravinsky, followed by Ludwig van Beethoven.
Ich denke, war unter Musikern sehr bekannt und vor allen Dingen sehr geschätzt für seine große musikalische Kunst, sowohl als Spieler von Tasteninstrumenten, Orgel, Cembalo, als auch als Komponist. Aber in der Öffentlichkeit, bei der breiten Bevölkerung gab es andere Musiker, die viel mehr geschätzt worden sind, zum Beispiel Telemann oder in Dresden Karl-Heinrich Graun. Oder auch Graupner in Darmstadt. Das waren Komponisten, die zu seiner Zeit mehr galten. Und Johann Sebastian Bachs Stern strahlt weit über allem. Das liegt sicher daran, dass seine Musik ganz besonders schön und ganz besonders kunstvoll gewesen ist und seine Zeitgenossen auch überstrahlt hat.
To Professor Dr. Ulrich Böhme, Toccata and Fugue in D minor is among Bach's most famous and spiritual compositions.
Es gibt die Toccata in D-Moll und die ist sicherlich das berühmteste Stück von ihm. Für mich steht fest, dass niemand anders als Johann Sebastian Bach, der Komponist der Orgel-Toccata in D-Moll, gewesen sein kann, weil diese Genialität, die dieses Musikstück hat, von keinem anderen Komponisten erreicht wurde.
Our deep gratitude to Professor Dr. Ulrich Böhme for sharing his insights on Johann Sebastian Bach, whose musical contributions continue to uplift and inspire listeners around the world. To close our program today, let us enjoy an excerpt from Johann Sebastian Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor, BWV 565, performed by Dr. Christoph Bull at the First Congregational Church of Los Angeles, USA. To our grateful viewers, it's been a pleasure to have you with us. Coming up next is homemade vegan dog food cooking on Eat, Move, Rest with vegans Aaron and Dusty Stanzich, right after noteworthy news, here on Supreme Master Television. May your life be adorned by the glory and wonder of the divine.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/MOS.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/blix schedule et suprememastertv.com/MOS.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule и suprememastertv.com/MOS.
Наши программы предлагают много языков. Пожалуйста, посмотрите suprememastertv.com /schedule и suprememastertv.com /MOS.